So we'll start by looking into algorithms to find square root and cube root. This also has a very rich history, and again we have a method. Indians had devised strategies to find square root and cube root. Aryabhatta had it, and Babylonians also had devised a method to compute square roots and cube roots. So if you see, most of the algorithms related to numbers and related to handling of numbers, if you see the pioneers on that, it would be Indians, the Babylonians, and also Chinese in certain cases. So sometimes we complain that Indian mathematics is not well known to the world, but even so is the Chinese mathematics. So over the last few decades, some research have taken place on Indian mathematics, but still Chinese mathematics, still there's a lot of things that are yet to come out. Okay, so before going into the actual, before exploring the algorithms and seeing how those work, I just thought of showing a simple trick to find the square root of a perfect square if the given perfect square is close to a multiple of a power of 10. So sorry, if it is close to a power of 10, like for example, let us take a number
9801.
9801. Okay, 9801. Okay, right. So this is the square root of this is 99. Okay. So are you aware of this method called Nikhilum of multiplying two numbers which are close to powers of 10? Like you have a number 97 into 96. Okay. So if numbers are close to multiple powers of 10, then there is a quicker method of multiplying them. Is anyone aware of that?
100 minus 3 into 100 minus 4, like that.
Exactly. Yeah. So it is essentially that. Okay. So this is same as 100 minus 3 into 100 minus 4. And this is nothing but 10,000 minus 700 plus 12. Right?
Yeah.
And so this would be 9,312. Okay. So identifying an algebraic means to solve this problem is one thing, but extracting a neat algorithm is another thing, is the next level. So here we are able to get it in 2 steps, right? So can you think of getting the answer in 1 step? So this method Nikhilum, using this method, we can write the answer in 1 step, just looking at the numbers.
Mhm.
If it is 95 into 94, then this is 8, 9, and the same thing applies to numbers which are over 100 also, which are close to and above 100, like 104 into 105 would be just, I think this is a good place to start with. Numbers above 100.
This one we can actually kind of 5 into 4 is 20, writing 20 at the last. Then 5 plus 4 is 9. Then 10 and 10 you are writing is a 10. This we can figure it out. But I don't know, that logic is not working out for 97 into 96 or 97.
97, 96. Oh, okay, great. So at least
first, so 81 plus 9 minus 1.
Like that,
and,
yeah.
81 plus 7 plus 6 is 13, minus 1 is 12. Yeah, 81 plus 12. Yeah. So if it's less than 100, then you add the unit digits, 1 less of that to be added to 9 square.
Something like that. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Wait.
So we're trying to come up with a new rule actually.
Oh, great. That is great. So you're taking 7 and 6 and adding that, you get 13.
13, and
you reduce 1 from that.
Reduce 1, add that to 81. That will give you the, sorry, no, this is 4 times 3. The units and tens digits is got by 4 times 3.
Okay.
To get the next 2 digits, 81 plus 7 plus 6 minus 1.
81 plus 7
Plus
plus
minus
6
1.
plus 1.
Minus 1.
So is this rule particular for this 97 to 96 or general?
No, it works for, seems to be working for 95 times 94 also.
Because that is 5, 6, though for 5, 6 are 30. So this is 3, 0. Then again, you go with the 89, 89 plus 5 plus 4. 81 plus 5 plus 4 minus 1. Seems working.
Oh.
Check with 91 into 93, something like that. You need to, you need to look out for more cases.
91
Probably then we can get
into 93.
something like that.
Great start. 91 into 93 would be.
So this is 9 and this is 7. So 81.
Oh, yeah, it is working.
81 plus 4 minus 1. Yeah.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
But if it's greater than 100, then that minus 1 step is, oh, it will be 10 times 10 plus, yeah, but that minus 1 is not required. If it's greater
Okay,
than,
now let me try to make sense of this method. Huh? Let's see. Wonderful, wonderful. This is an unexpected one. If anyone comes up with any counter examples, please let me know.
For 104 into 105, I think whichever suggested by Gauri ma'am, I think that is not working because
yes. So she is saying that for numbers less than 100, this is the
less
rule.
than 100 it is working. For greater than 100, we need to figure out.
Okay, then okay. So then for greater than 100, say we will take something like this: 111 into 111, 111 square.
It's not working for this actually.
So for this, you had figured out that this is just 20 is nothing but 5 into 4. And this 109 is just 5 plus 4, right?
yeah.
So if you apply that here, what would you get?
So here it's already 3 digits. So 11 into 11 will be 121. So
this is what is the answer coming according to the rule, right? According to the rule which you suggested. But what is the actual square of 111?
Is 1, 2, 3, 2, 1.
1, 2, 3, 2, 1. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 2, 1. Yes. So are you able to think of any alterations to the rule? I'm really, wow, I'm bowled out by this A plus B rule.
So, so if we, like we were adding the two numbers and we were getting 2, and if we multiply the last 2 digits, whatever we get, that's the unit place. So 1, 2, 1. And then if we multiply 11 with 11, so we get 121, and then we add 1 plus 1. I don't know if that, I don't know if it will generally work or not, but it works for 11 into 111 into 111.
Oh, okay. So can you repeat again?
So if I'll add the unit digits 1, 1 like we did earlier. So I get 2.
Okay.
And then I multiply 1 with 1, and that is my unit place 1.
Okay.
And then I multiply 11 with 11, 121.
Yes.
And then I add the digits at the unit place. So 1 plus 1. So I get 123.
Okay. So you multiply 11 into 11, you get 121, and you add that to what?
I add the digits at the unit place, 1 and 1. The two numbers, whatever are the digits at the unit place, 1 and 1.
Okay, this 1 and 1.
Yeah.
Okay, 1 plus 1, 2. Okay, so 123. Oh.
But I don't know if it is only for this, or we have to see whether it works.
Okay, nice. So you can check for 104 and 105.
Okay.
Oh, interesting.
How did this become 122, 121?
No, this 1 to 1 is the product of it is 11 square,
Yeah, but that's only supposed to be in units and tens place, right? The 1 should become a carryover then.
Okay, okay. Oh, so if this 1 is a carryover here,
Yeah.
then it
so
would become,
one,
Then it will work.
1, 2, 3, 2, 1.
oh, it's working. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So can you check with the other examples if you have got it for above 100,
Yeah.
and also take numbers close above 1000, 1004 and 1005. Try to make a prediction first, and then try to see what is the actual answer. And so if you see, one main thing in getting an algorithm, getting a quick way of doing things right, one of the main tool is algebra. So algebra coupled with this ingenious place value system, and how you're able to put them together and extract a method. It's all that. And of course, lots and lots of trials in trying to solve this question.
So one more thing is that we can do one more thing also for 97 into 96. So we can take the same thing. So we can take 100 as the base. Okay. You take 100 as the base. So you get 3 and 4. So that 12 remains the same. Okay. So 3 and 4. Yeah. So 12 remains the same. And then what you do is that you can straight away subtract 97 minus 4. That will give you what?
Right away subtract
93
minus
4. So that diagonal one. Either of the diagonals, either 97 minus 4 or 96 minus 3.
And both will give the same answers always.
Yeah.
Wow.
This is Vedic math.
Okay.
And it works. It's one of the trick actually close to 100 multiplication. The Vedic math, I
Yes.
think. I happened to learn this some time back.
Yes. Exactly.
another
Exactly.
portion. Yeah.
This is the method named Nikilam.
And I think, this is the same thing which Gauri ma'am did for 111, right? The same thing works for 97,
Yeah.
96. If you do this minus thing.
I think
Okay.
what Gauri
Exactly
ma'am
the
said, and this is more or less similar only.
Yeah, because I just looked at it because 3 4s are 12. Then if we have made it 100, so 100 comes as is, and then 100 minus
In fact,
7.
if
If you do 100
go
minus 7, 93. So 93, 1, 2.
even if you go beyond 90 also it works. So for example, let's take 87 into 89. Random example. Okay.
Yeah.
If you take 87 into 89, see, taking 100 as the base, this will be 13. Okay, and this will be 11. Okay.
Yeah.
So 13 into 11 is 143. You write 43 here and you keep
1 as carry.
1 as carry, and then 87 minus 11 is what? 76. And then you need to add 1. So 7743. That is the product.
So 87 minus 11 and 89 minus 13 will always give the same answer.
Same answer. Yeah.
Wow.
Either you can take 87 minus 11 or you can take 89 minus 13. Either of the one diagonals. And if there is any carryover, you need to add that. You will get the product.
Will there be a pair of numbers for which this cross differences will be different? Can you find two numbers?
It can't be because you are approaching the this is something similar to that mod 9 or mod 10, whatever you call it. Some modular arithmetic concept is actually involved here. So there is no chance that you get a difference of the diagonal difference.
Okay. Great. Interesting. So there is a guess on how the Nikilam method can be carried out, and then another assertion that this diagonal differences will always be same. Can anyone give? Okay, so Shankar is saying that it's something to do with mod arithmetic.
No, just guessing, not sure.
Oh yeah, sure. Great.
Right.
Any other attempts on this? Any other comments on why this differences are always coming out to be same? Now instead of keeping 100 as a base, if I kept 90 as a base and written the differences and done this cross difference, would it still have worked?
Maybe we need to check it out. And there is one more trick also. If you are multiplying one number greater than base and one number lesser than base, and there is another technique also for that.
Yes.
So 2 closer to 100, lesser than 100, and 2 numbers closer to 100 and greater than 100. This is case 2. Case 3 is one number is greater than 100 and one number lesser than 100, but both the numbers are close to 100. For example, 105 into 93. One is greater than 100, but it is close. One is lesser, but close. For that also, I think we have similar technique.
Yes, we
For
do.
that, one diagonal will be one diagonal you need to add, and one diagonal you need to find the difference. And the result, both the result will be same.
So I'm also thinking of what Gauri ma'am told. 13 plus 81. 81. Would that work here also? When the numbers are less than 90, would it still work? Gauri ma'am.
I'm not checked.
Okay, so for 97 and 96, what you told was 81 plus 7 plus 6 minus 1. 5, 12, 93. That is one thing here.
That 81, how she got is that she multiplied 9 into 9, right?
Yeah, she multiplied 9 into 9, yes.
Yeah, okay, fine.
Yeah, this will actually always work.
Is
Will
it?
always work.
I was off by 1. I was off by 100. Off by 1 in 100, please.
Just one, right? So wait, so 87 into 89, right? So 81 plus. Okay. So now it depends on what you're adding. Do you add 7 and 9? Or you add.
So in my process, it was first do 7 times 9. So that is not 7 times 9, sorry. From 100. Oh, yeah, 13 times 11. So 143. 43 and 1 carried over. Then 7 plus 9 minus 1, that is 15. 15 plus 1, 16. To be added to 64.
Okay. Oh, actually, you're taking 64, right? Oh, if you're taking 64, then you should be careful. Oh, 64, if you take, you won't get it. I don't think you'll get it if you take 64. 64, I don't think so.
Okay.
Okay, wait. It depends on the whole process. I don't know. Yeah, maybe you can still get it. Okay, so at least for numbers greater than 100, we will just take this case. 103 to 104, which we have like completely understood. Did you try with thousands? Like if you take 1009 into 1011, so can you quickly tell me what would the answer be?
12099.
12099.
99.
12099. Okay. How do you get that?
So 11 nines are 99. 11 plus 9 is 20. And preceded by the 1.
Okay. So can you check the actual answer? So you have some zeros missing, right?
Yes.
The power of zeros.
1020099. Of course, I never factored in the scale.
So I have a logic.
Great. Wow.
So see, 1009 means so it's close to 1000. Okay. So plus 9, correct? Plus 9 and plus 11.
Yeah.
Okay. So 11 into 9 is 99.
Okay.
Okay, but you need to include one more 0 in front of 99 because 1000 has 3 zeros. Okay, and now you need to do the normal one, like either you can add 1009 plus 11, or you can add 1011 plus 9. Both will give the same result, 1020. Check if it is working for 4 zeros and 5 zeros. It will work.
Okay. So
Suppose for same example, instead of 1099 into 1011, let's take 10,009 and 10,011.
Okay.
If you do that, then the same 99, but you need to add 2 zeros in front because 10,000 has 4 zeros.
Okay.
11 into 9 is 99, 4 zeros. Now what you need to do, you can do the diagonal sum of 10,011 plus 9 or 10,009 plus 11. Both will give the same answer.
Okay.
Check out, it will work. This
Any
one,
comment?
I think it will work.
Okay.
because I remember learning this somewhere.
Hmm.
Vedic math.
Yes, yes. As I said, this technique has
yeah,
this name Nikilam of multiplying two numbers close to powers of 10.
Powers of 10.
So any comments on Shankar's rule?
Yeah, it makes sense.
Makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So at least for we will for now we'll just focus on numbers above powers of 10. So for that we seem to have a rule. We seem to have understood some rule, and we can use that to exploit it, right? But then but as soon as I gave this question, Gauri ma'am, you told this, right? 10, 100 plus 3 into 100 plus 4.
Yeah.
Right? And then this is, we have done into 2 steps, right? So do you see any connection between this way of multiplying and this method? Are you able to create a connection? So we'll just take this 103 into 104. So the answer is, okay, let me just take numbers. Why repeated everything? It takes some, not 1 into 19. So the answer would be?
19 in units and 10. And then?
So 118. 11819.
11819. Okay. Any disagreements with this answer?
Not 118. I think it since it is +1, it has to be 12019. If I'm not wrong.
Okay. Yes, you're right. This is indeed the product. Okay. So now, can you see any connection between this and this? Can we explain this method? What is happening algebraically? Or in general, 100 plus A into 100 plus B. So is our rule consistent with the outcome of this algebraic expression? Any comments on this?
10,000 plus 100 times A plus B plus AB.
Excellent. So this would give 10,000 plus 100 times
A plus B
plus
plus
AB.
AB. That AB
Right.
is what we are
That
doing.
is exactly
19
the
into
thing
1.
that's happening.
Exactly.
That is exactly the same. So okay, fine. So is it so clear of how? So here there is 10,000 and here there is 100 into A plus B, but we are just adding this. Is it directly linked? Of course, this is leading to that. But is this connection visible?
Yeah, because here the 20 is coming only in the hundreds and thousands place, right? So it is 100 times of A plus B. So that's exactly what's happening.
Okay, so AB is explained. So the role of AB and why AB is why we are just able to accommodate the 2 digits here. We are able to explain because we have 2 zeros here and 2 zeros here, at least 2 zeros here. Okay, fine.
Right. Right.
And then the next part. So basically, what we are doing is if you are having 100 plus A into 100 plus B, then according to our rule, right? Okay, according to the rule, what do you write the answer as?
So the units and tens is AB, and we've got A plus B taking the hundreds and thousands place. Plus, if there is any carryover, it will then go to the 10,000 place.
Right. So that is according to this expression, right? But when we are doing this, we're not hundreds place, thousands place, and all. We're not separately considered, right? We just added. We just did an addition here, single addition.
Okay.
Right. What was the single addition we did in this case?
A plus B.
A plus B, right? So basically, so what would come here?
100th place we added, put A plus B. Yeah. And, yeah.
A plus B. Okay. So here, what would come here?
Basically, what we are trying to do is that we are trying to do 100 plus A plus B.
100 plus A plus B. So Shankar, here do you see why the diagonal sums are coming out to be the same?
Exactly. That is because 101 plus 19 is nothing but 100 plus 1 plus 19, or we can say 119 plus 1 is nothing but 100 plus 19 plus 1,
Yes.
Oh,
and both are
okay.
same.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
and
yeah.
can you similarly explain the differences also? So you have some number 100 minus A and into 100 minus B, like 96 into 94. Okay. So here we write minus A, we write minus 4 here, and here we write minus 6, and we write a minus B here. Okay. So according to the first step you told, you take the diagonal difference, right? And both the diagonal differences are turning out to be the same. So is it clear why it is the same?
Mm.
In this case, it will be 100 minus of A plus B, something
Exactly,
like
exactly. Minus of A plus B and AB.
that. AB.
Right. So this is, yeah, so algebra clearly shows what is happening inside, right? But still, okay, so the rule is saying that we multiplying 100 plus A and 100 plus B is nothing but you write AB in the end and then just take 100 plus A plus B. Okay. But the expression that we have got here, it doesn't seem to say exactly that. So it says write AB in the last. That is clear. But here it is messing it up now. It is right 10,000 plus 100 into A plus B. Can we like dig it further and see what is happening?
See, this 100 plus A plus B, your writing is at as a 3-digit, fine, but your writing is at the last, what to say, the leftmost 3 digits, right? So it will be what? It will be again 10,000 plus 100 into 10,000 plus 1,000 plus 100, something like that. Something to do with place value only.
Of course.
And that is the reason that there is a difference between that normal algebraic expression and the one which we
exactly.
This is something this is connected with that only.
Place value system. Exactly. It is connected to place value system only. And it is only because we are having place value system we are able to generate such
come up with this kind of a rule. Yeah, exactly.
Algorithms. Otherwise, it would have been hectic if you have to deal with Roman numerals kind of setup, right? So here we can just do one simplification in the algebraic domain, which will immediately show what is happening. So we have got 10,000 plus 100. So we have got this, right? 10,000 plus 100 into A plus B plus AB. This is what? 100 plus A and 100 plus B, right? So in the first two terms, we can just take 100 out. If you take 100 out, we have 100 plus A plus B plus AB. Come on, we got it. So if you write in the place value system, this is nothing but you write 100 plus A plus B and then put 2 zeros and add it with AB. That's it. This is exactly what we are doing in this rule. Right?
Yes.
Okay.
And it comes 100 because we are dealing with something numbers close to 100.
Exactly.
Suppose if it is 1,000, then it will be 1,000 into 100 plus A plus B, something like that. It keeps on going. The pattern continues.
Yes.
Based on the powers of 10, right?
Yes. Right. So similarly, one can explain the rule which is the rule which Shankar told, it's exactly the rule. That is the Nicolam rule. So you can similarly algebraically see how that rule is coming. For the minus, you'll have to be little bit careful, but it is fun seeing why that is the case. Okay. So now that we know this rule, at least for numbers above powers of 10, can we use this rule to find the square root of a number of a perfect square which is close to a power of 10? Like let me just take one square. Let me just take 11881. Okay. So can anyone give me a rule to find the square root of this number? So how will you find the square root of numbers of a square root of perfect squares close to powers of 10? Can you come up with a method? So you can, along with giving an answer to this question, you can also give a general method in the chat. Yes, Madhu ma'am. Yes, great. So can you come up with a rule of how to handle? Yes. Okay. Kauri ma'am has given a rule. Okay, so now you need to know a little bit of more squares. At least 30 you need to know. Okay, let me reveal. 24 squared is 16, 14, 26 squared is 124 square and 26 written here. So you can see that the basis for this is the initial rule. If you have 100 plus A and 100 plus B, how do you multiply that? So if you see, if you use the distributive property, 100 plus A and 100 plus B, we get an expression. Where is expression? Where is expression? Yeah, we get this expression: 10,000 plus 100A plus B plus AB. And then converting this into a neat algorithm is a nice art. So you observe the place value consequence of this formula and then make a rule. Now the question at hand is, can you find out the square root of 15876? Now that we know this method. Okay. Yeah. So you can continue working on this problem, but briefly, I want your attention. So this is the starting. We're taking the starting step towards this method to find square root of a number of any number. So as you see, it is this question of looking at what is happening. Okay, so some of you might be already aware of this long division method. So how many of you are aware of it? You can turn on the audio and tell.
I found out about it last week and Googled it.
Okay, so you know the
I am
method.
I know the method, but don't know.
Okay, great.
It's part of 8th standard.
Oh, wow, super. Okay, so Shankar and Madhu ma'am.
Yeah, I know Shiv, but it's been long time since I used long division.
Oh,
Yeah,
good.
I've forgotten it.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's good. It's good to forget. Then there's more chance that we'll think about it in a fresh mind.
So more than that, trying to figure out how to calculate more quickly by using some Vedic math or something like that. More not curious about the usual long division anymore.
Oh, okay. So yeah, the thing is, if you see the method that is there in Aryabhata's work and the modern method we use has are almost the same, but it will look very different when you see it. Okay, so I'll just present. Okay, so 3 of you are aware and 2 of you are not aware. Okay, fine. So okay, we'll take a number. We'll take a perfect square. So if we have a number 3969, let's take this number 3969. Okay. Now to find the square root, we follow a particular method. Oh yeah. So those who are those who want to try this 15,876 can please try it. So I'm just saying this so they can also try this question also. So take 3969 and you need to find the square root of this. Okay. So there are 2 ways you can go about. So if you already know the method, like the way we connected the Nicolet method with algebra, can you similarly see what is happening here in the square root method? That is one thing. Okay. Or if you do not know, how would you go about finding the square root of 3969? You can just try it from first principles. But one idea behind all the methods that are there so far is to find the minimum and the maximum. That has been, this is the key idea. You find a number, so we can say that the square root is definitely above some number and definitely below some number. Okay, so can we give an upper bound and lower bound for the square root? Definitely the square root is
Between 60 square and 70 square.
Oh, great. So between 60 square and 70 square. So this we are able to say, right? Yes. So we have come very close. Now we have got the 10th digit. It's this question of getting the unit digit, right? Now
Does the end in either 3 or 7?
3 and 7.
Okay. Oh, you have got this. Okay.
So
fine.
either it has to be 63, 67 or 70. It can't be 73.
Very clever.
63, 67.
And then you can just then check and find
63 only actually.
Correct.
63 because even if you pick the first 2 digits 39, so we can say that 36 and we can 6 square is 36 and 7 square is 49. So it is close to 39 is
Okay.
close to 36 more than 49. So it
Okay.
has to be 63.
Nice, nice. So one remarkable feature of this long division method is this will actually allow us to compute the square roots of not only perfect squares, but of any number.
Any number.
We can find how many other digits we want after the decimal point. So this also gives that flexibility. So now with this being the case, predicting the last digit is not so obvious here, right? So if you take some other number, like for example, if you take the good old 2, okay, and if you want to find the square root of 2 till 10 digits, this method will yield it, basically. So let us take another number. Let me take another 2-digit number. This time it's not a perfect square. I guarantee it's not a perfect square. It is 8777. Okay, 8777. So now, again, the 10th digit is easy to calculate. Again, the first question is how many digits will the square root have? That is one question. How many digits will the square root have? And then what is the 10th digit? And then what can you do for the units digit? Yeah, so this is the question which I wanted to ask. So you can try continuing the previous question. So those who want to still try out this method, try out this question 15876 and 1181, please go ahead and put the answer in chat. So when it's a perfect square and when it is close to a power of 10, because of this Nikilam method, we are having a quicker method to find the square root. So yeah, if you know the square root method in and out, can you modify that method to find cube root of a number also? Can you try to modify that method to find the cube root of a number also? If yes, what all modifications need to be done?
Instead of grouping in 2s, the numbers has to be grouped in 3s.
Okay.
That is a first and foremost step, and then I think you need to continue with the same method only.
Wow.
Provided you need to look out for perfect cubes rather than perfect squares.
Okay, interesting.
I mean, for that it was 36 and 49. Those two are perfect squares, and we found out the limit here. So I think we need to look out for cube roots or cubes, basically cubes. So it has to be 27 and 64 between, something like that. For 39, I'm talking about 39, 60. That one I'm talking about.
Okay.
Something like that. Yeah.
Okay.
Don't know whether it works, but just a thought.
Yeah. Sure. You can try it out. So if we already have a machine that works in a particular way, if you're able to remove the nuts and bolts and go to its core, maybe we can adjust it to increase its functionality. So we are having this machine of this algorithm for square root. Can we extend this to cube roots also? That is also another possible question. So just a comment here, making the students figure out the pattern for pattern of products of two numbers that are close to powers of 10 itself is a very interesting activity. Then taking them through the algebra, I think needs a bit more, a lot more maturity, but just this process of figuring out the pattern, can you just look at the numbers and see what is happening itself is like interesting. So at this point, I will quickly tell what is the standard method to find the square root for those who forgotten. So 3969, you would split it into pairs of digits, and then you take the first pair, which is 39, and then you find the square that is below it. So 6 square is 36, and we have the remainder as 3. So see the connection between this step and the step which Shankar mentioned, that 3969 is between 60 square and 70 square. And then what we do is we take double the digits that we have already got. The digits that we already got is here 6. We double it and we take 12, and we bring down the next pair. It is 369. And now the question is, you have to fill this box with the same digit So that 1, 2 box into box would be less than or equal to 369. So if you see, if you put a 3 here, I get 963. I get 369 immediately. So done. This is and this is the square root. This is the square root of 369. So why are we taking double? Okay, because square has 2, the power is 2. We are taking double in it, and this is a very new method, right? Putting a digit here and the same thing here, and if if the remainder happens to be 0, it's a perfect square.
So one thing I felt was because if it is a 2-digit, this is like 10a plus b and multiply by 10a plus b.
Excellent, 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 excellent. So let us see. So this is 10a plus b. Okay, now we'll just focus on 4 digits, 4-digit number. Some 4-digit number we have, and we have found the first digit here, something, and we have got some remainder. So at least the first step is clear, right? Of why we are choosing the first pair of numbers. Because if you take 60 square is 3600, and 70 square is 4900. So look at the last 2 zeros here. The given number is 3969. So it is just enough if I just look at the left the numbers remaining after I remove 69. This 39. So it is enough if we just focus on 39. So the first A is clear. We get a remainder here. We get some remainder here. So now the question is to find the next digit. So we'll call this B. Okay. So the number is 10A plus B, as Madhu ma'am is saying. The number is 10A plus B. So here in this case, the number is 10 into 6 plus B. We are yet to figure out what is B. And 10A plus B, the whole square, must give this number. Let me write this number as D1, D2, D3, D4. Right. Yes. So now what is 10A plus B the whole square?
100a square plus 20ab plus b square.
Okay. Okay. Interesting. Interesting. So we are having 100a square plus 20ab plus b square. So here what we would have is, in this case, we would have 60a plus b the whole square is 100 into 36 plus 20 into 6 is 120b plus b square. So this is what we have here. And the given number is 3969. Okay, so now can we explain the subsequent methods, so the subsequent steps?
Yeah, Shiv, if you take B as common in that
Wow.
expression you wrote.
Wow, wow. So yeah, where the left-hand side or the general case?
You can take general case also.
Okay, let us take general case. Sometimes working in the general will give a better picture. We will be unfuzzled by the specifics. So 100a square, if I remove the b, I would get?
It will be 20a plus b.
Wow, 20a plus b. Yes.
20a is nothing but 2 into 10, 2 times a. 2 times a is nothing but you are adding a twice, a plus a.
Exactly. Right. Wonderful. So here, this 120b. So now if you take 120b plus b square, and if you remove b out of this, I get 120 plus b. Right. So 120 plus b in the place of the system, it's nothing but 12b. If b is a unit, if b is a single digit, then 120 plus b would be written as 12b.
Yeah.
Exactly. And 12b into b. Yes. Right. So yeah. So now can you complete all the pictures? So now what we have is, in this case, we have this 369. 69, we got it from the given number. So here, once I get a remainder here, I would get this D3, D4 from here. Okay, so now we have identified the major pieces. So can we put it two together and give a description, give explanation of this method. So just removing the b change everything, right? It might look so.
Yes. So we have to find a b such that 1 2b, as you said, 1 2b times that b gives you
Gives me what? Now it gives me what? That's the question. So I have a 369 here.
Give me the original number minus 100a square, which is
the remainder.
Exactly. Should give the original number minus 100a square, right? And can I say that R D3 D4 is exactly that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Right. So 369 is exactly that, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So here again we are utilizing the place value system, and we are throwing away zeros which are not required here. So instead of putting 3600, we're just writing, yeah, so 0 and this position, we can look at it. Huh? So 369. Great. So now we have this method, right? So any comments from others? Any points of contention? No, this should not be like this because we are having an extra 0. Where is a square into 100? Any objections? Okay, great. So now with this being the case, now I will take another number. So I will take a bigger number now and find its square root. So 2, 2, 5, 6, 2, 5. Okay. So using this method, I will write it like this. And what would my first digit be?
4. Yeah.
4. Exactly. So this number is clearly between 400 and 500.
Yes.
Right. That is easy to see because 400 would be 160000. 500 square is 25000, and this number is clearly between that. So we know the first digit is 4. So we would say this is 6, and this block is brought down 56, and then we take the double of 4, 8. And what should be multiplied with 8 to get 656? This is a bit. 87 into 7, I think, is the best one, right? 88 into 8 would be, yeah, it'll cross it. So 87 into 7. 7 sevens are 49.
609.
609, yes. So this is 47. Okay, next we bring down this 25. So I'm just now following the method. So now what should we take here? We should take the double of this number, 47, which is 94. Here is where the method becomes more and more messier. So 94 into what is
5, 9,
5.
4, 5.
5.
Yeah.
Wow. Got it, jackpot. So 4725, and that is 0. Okay, great. So now can anyone give an explanation of the general method? So for 4 digits, we saw what is happening, right? We were clearly able to see why that method is working, why we got that 2 times of this. So it is coming from our good old a plus b the whole squared formula. Okay. So now if you have more than 4 digits, 6 digits, 8 digits, 7 digits,
Maybe we can use a plus b plus c whole square formula.
a plus b plus c whole. Okay, great. Oh, that becomes monstrous. A plus b plus c the whole square.
No.
So the thing is, there are 2 things. One is getting simplification algebraically, and then converting it into a neat algorithm. So it's fine. So let us just get the algebra. So a plus b plus c whole square is a square plus b square plus c square plus 2ab plus 2bc plus 2ca. So now we would have something like, in our case, we would have 100a plus 10b plus c.
Yeah.
100a plus 10b plus c. Okay, and then take a square. So to me, at least, coming up with this algorithms is like the engineering part of maths. This is how I view it, and I keep saying it again and again. Okay, so I feel this is a right point to stop. So you can see how we can understand the this method of this square root algorithm for higher number of digits. And as I was saying, now that we have this insight, can you come up with can you construct your own method to find cube roots of a number? It looks, at least it seems to look easy, right? The cube root, fourth root, fifth root, whatever you can.